I started my own company at 15 years old. I I think from the age of 17, I was making a regular 15K dollars a month, every single month. I found the man of my dreams and got engaged and moved to Dubai at the age of 18. In this video, I will show you how I did this and how you can achieve exactly the same thing, if not even better. Hi, my name is Jasmine, and I just started a YouTube channel this second. Now, a lot of people do ask me, how did you even manage to start a company at 15? Is that even possible? Like, how did you manage to do that? And I would love to have like a very perfect answer. It's just like, no, it's just ambitious since birth, and I'm so lucky I just had these rich parents that like helped me, but unfortunately not. The real reason why I started my own company at 15 was because I literally was so desperate to get my single mom out of debt. Because we couldn't live. We were super poor and we were up to our heads with credit loans. And there was no other way. She had to take a lot of loans to even take care of me growing up. So I never wanted her to feel like that again. I wanted her to feel financially free. I wanted myself to feel financially free and not having to worry. And that is the real reason. But either way, I will show you how you can do the same thing. So I have written down a couple steps for it. The first reason is you need to have a very, very clear goal. Now, the reason I managed to do this at such a young age was because I had a very, very big pain. I needed to get myself and my single mom out of a miserable life. I wanted us to become financial free. I wanted to not ever think of money again. I wanted these nice things for myself, and I wanted my mother to not have to worry all the time. And that's a big pain, which means that I worked so hard to get where I am. And if I had just a goal like I just want to make money, I would have probably not succeeded with that because it required a lot of hard work, my friends. So even if you don't have a very, very painful goal, still dream about your life, write it down, like list for list, visualize what you want your life to look like. So you have, and I'm not saying that it's to do some voodoo manifestation. I mean, for you to have a clear goal in your head, a clear picture of what you are wanting to achieve in your life. The next step is, I'm so sorry, but you need to stop being so fucking lazy. Yes, you heard me right. I'm not going to be here saying that you can achieve anything while you're being lazy on your couch watching Netflix. That's not going to happen. And that's just the reality. And I know you know that, but you really have to understand it. Like, I know that everyone says work hard, but you need to understand what working hard is. Like, if you want to achieve this life, you need to be ready to start working out in the morning, to fit the time in your day to start your own company or whatever you want to achieve. You need to put that time in your calendar, and if you don't have the time, you need to prioritize the time. So, for example, a new challenge we can do is your scroll time. You could see your scroll time on your settings. That is the new minimum for how many hours you need to spend on your company a day. Mine, I'm gonna be transparent with you, mine was probably 3 hours. I was like, okay, well, I have good amount of time to start this because I have 3 hours. And what I had to do, again, what I had to do to achieve this was I literally woke up at 4 a.m. every day because I was 15, I had school. So I needed to wake up at 4 a.m. to work out and then have a couple hours of work before I headed to school. And then I was to school until like 4 p.m. If I had, luckily, sometimes it was like 3 p.m. and then I was working. And then I had actually a part-time work at the airport at Olaris. So I had to work there from like 4 to 8 p.m. and then the remaining like 2-3 hours I was spending on my company. So you see, like, the majority of my day went to school, work, and working out, obviously. So I did not have any time to spend whatsoever on Instagram or Netflix or whatever. And when you go into the zone, it will get easier, but the first few weeks you really have to bite the sour apple and just do it. Again, you don't have to, but if you don't, I mean, you just have to picture your life being the same for the next 5 years, and I think you'll get motivated. The next thing, when you've fixed that shitty, lazy mindset of yours, you need to start making some fucking money. And there's different ways you can do this, obviously. I am not going to mention options such as part-time jobs or 9 to 5. I'm not going to go into that because that's really not what I stand for. So I'm going to go into freelancers / a bit like your own business kind of options. So what I did was that I actually bought a program for I think $2,000 to learn a skill, which was sales. I learned the skill of sales. And so when I learned that, I actually got hired into a position, and then I was doing something called high ticket sales. So essentially what high ticket sales is a very long word for just selling courses online. So there is going to be influencers, there's going to be people that are in that space of like having an online course, and they need salespeople that sells this stuff. And it is expensive courses, all of the range of like all from $2,000 up to like 10,000, 20,000. So we're talking big numbers, and usually the commission for this is around 15%. Now, in the beginning of this, obviously I was not good at all, but you learn, and as time went on, I got better. And I think actually a couple weeks after I started, from having a very good mentor that I paid for, I managed to, in a couple of weeks, make around, I think the first month I made $3,000. And I mean, that's very, very good. Then I managed to pay the mentorship off because as I told you guys, it was around 2,000. On top of that, I had 1,000 that I could just spend on whatever, which I obviously spent on my mom's debt. So yeah, I just have to say that I think the best thing to get started with is sales. I love sales, but you gotta have patience with it because it includes talking with people, includes having, I don't know, you need to have conversations with people all the time, and so, for some that can be exhausting, but I'm a person that loves talking, as you may have noticed. So for me, it wasn't really a big problem, and I was making banks. So yeah. The next step is be consistent. I don't know how many times I can say this, and every single time I'm gonna mean it to 100%. You have to be consistent. And I know that everyone says this, and it's such an obvious thing, yet no one fucking does it. Consistency is key, especially when it comes to learning a new skill, because you're going to be terrible at it in the beginning. I remember my first sales call, I was shaking, like I was sweating. I was so nervous and I was terrible at it. And I think the first weeks I made no money at all. But you have to stick with it, and you have to learn, and you have to be so invested in it. And this has to completely consume your mind. You have to be obsessed with it. Anything that you do, as long as you're obsessed with it, is gonna succeed in some way. I've learned this throughout my years in the business space. So I'm telling you, consistency. You need to be fully engaged in what you do, and that's the only thing that can consume your mind. For example, I mean, all the people I'm following on Instagram is like salespeople, sales, entrepreneurs. Like that's the feed that I'm getting, and sometimes it actually motivates me. Maybe I'm having a hard day, and then I'm scrolling a little bit, getting a little bit motivation, getting a couple reels, getting a little bit motivated, and then I just stop. And now a little bit of motivation that I put into my work. And after all of this, after you have mastered this new skill, you're making continuous money, and you have this financial freedom in some way or form, then you can think about dating. And this is something very controversial, but you cannot do it all. You cannot do it all. It's not possible. It's not gonna work for you. And if during any of that time, from like 15 to like 18, if I was dating, I wouldn't have achieved anything. Because dating is such an emotion, or like love is such an emotion, it consumes your mind, okay? It consumes your mind. You get stupid, you get blank, you get bad. And it's a whole nother skill. Now you have to sit there and learn about another person. Like, it's gonna take so much time and energy. You're not gonna have that energy to spend on your business. I couldn't have done everything that I did, and I couldn't have worked on myself at the intensity that I needed to if I had a man before that. Actually, my fiance was my first boyfriend. Like, it was the first guy I ever dated, first person that I've ever been with. And some can say I was lucky. Some can say I was super strategic. I like to choose the word strategic. I didn't want to just be with anyone. That was not my standards, not for myself. That was not my standards for anyone around me. Then why would I do that? I think that's pretty not really clever to do. So I think that's the biggest thing. And not specifically just about partners, but overall, don't engage in multiple things while trying to make your business work. That is just going to mess up your head. That's going to take a lot of energy from you that you could put into your business. But all right, that's basically it. This is the best I can do in such a general video of explaining how to do these things, and I will make videos step by step about all of it. But let me know what parts of it you want more information on, and I'm very willing to make that happen. You can take this video and take all of the information we got and just throw it in the garbage. I don't care. This is for the people that actually want to change their lives, because I was in that position once, and I've been in that position multiple times even after that. And you gotta make a choice. Either do it or don't do it, but you gotta make a choice. You can't sit there and maybe whenever I feel, you're never gonna feel like you have to make the decision and then you're ready. Let me know what you want more information on, and good luck on implementing these steps. So yeah. And one last thing, don't forget to subscribe if you want more of these kind of videos, and supporting this new YouTube channel that I've just started.